Quickie. One of the most frequent questions I get asked when people watch my Octatrack performances is, how do I do those vinyl style scratchy sounds? There's actually two different ways you can do this, and unsurprisingly I'm going to show you both of them in this video. Firstly, just to say thank you for choosing to click this video. I've never spoken before on my channel, and to be honest I'm a bit nervous about it, but hopefully we'll get through it together. If you learn something, or for some reason you enjoy watching this, then I do encourage you to click the like button or the subscribe button, or just like start clicking all the buttons you can see in front of you down this part here. I'm not pointing at my crotch, I'm trying to point down below the video. Okay, so the first step is probably the most visually impressive. It involves using the slider to perform the scratching live. I'm going to assume that you already know how to get your samples onto the Octatrack and how to generally use the machine. I'm just going to show you the main points so you can run away and start doing this yourselves. So I've got this sample here.
The tape is now completely rewound, ready for playing.
Cool. And I've created a scene here which allows me to move the audio rate from +63 to -64. Then when I set the Octatrack to slots mode, I can trigger the slot.
The tape is now completely rewound.
And I can manipulate the audio like that. If you press AED so you can see the waveform, then
the tape is
then you get a better idea of what you're doing. Some tips here: try to use the distortion from the EQ and maybe set up a little bit of compression. Otherwise you risk the volume going too quiet while you're scratching, and the performance just kind of feels like it's lacking something. Try to keep your scratching rhythm in time with the actual music, otherwise the actual sound that you're making is just going to feel out of place. You probably need to practice this. It takes time to get good at it. So I've also set up a simple drum track to play here. I can show you an example. Got some nice drums. Track 1.
Tape is now completely rewound. The tape is now completely rewound. Ready for play. The tape is now ready for play.
You get the idea. If you want to get more advanced with it, what you can do here is you can say, like, copy the slot and paste lots of slots. For each and every individual slot, you can go into the audio editor and you can select a different starting point. I've already prepared 5 slots here of the same sample but with different starting points, so you can hear.
The tape is now completely rewound, ready for playing.
That's the full sample. Then I have this.
Now completely rewound, ready for playing. Rewound, ready for playing.
And then you can just perform it like this.
Now completely rewound, ready, rewound, now,
just something like that. Practice it, get good at it. It's really fun to do, it's really fun to watch, and it's different every time you perform the track. So yeah, give you a little clap for learning that. Good job. Let's go to the next one. So the second way is more programmatic and requires virtually no skills at moving your wrists rhythmically. It uses what I think is the Octatrack's most powerful but completely underrated feature, which is the slide tricks. So I've got this piece of music. Just performing. I have that on track 1. On track 2 I have the same thing playing, but I have the volume set to -64, and I have a scene here set up so that I can transition from track 1 to track 2. So when this is all the way on the left, the only thing you can hear is the first track. When this is all the way on the right, the only thing you can hear is the second track. Now the second track is where we're going to program our scratchy sounds. So first I'm going to go into the audio editor for track 2. I'm going to create a slice grid. For this example I'm just using 8 slices, and then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to set 8 separate trigs. Whoops. And then I'm going to go into audio editor and I'm going to create linear locks. So essentially when I'm playing, it's just going to play through the entire thing. That's wonderful and everything, but we want to scratch stuff. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use function and press a trig to create a trigless trig. I think it's called trigless trig. I always forget. I'm probably getting it wrong. The green one, the one that doesn't re-trigger the sample. So as the timer goes along, it's going to hit here, and this is going to change a parameter. I'm going to set the rate to plus 63 because this is where I'm going to start the scratching. And I'm going to do the same here and here. For 6, I'm going to set that to minus 64. And another one here, actually, I'm going to set that to minus 64 and that to plus 63. So as it goes along here, it's suddenly going to start rewinding and then replaying forward. I'll show you what happens in the audio editor. If I zoom out and play this. See, so the idea is we can create some scratchy sounds, and then as soon as it hits this point in the song, it resumes playing normally. So we can go crazy with the scratches here. At the moment, the scratches don't sound amazing, but the reason for that is because we haven't activated our slide tricks. So I'll come out of the audio editor and go into our slide tricks option here, and I'll just do that. This activates sliding for everything, and so what happens is I get a smoother transition between these audio rate changes. Generally, you can just, play around until you find something interesting. Nice. And then because we're doing this on a second track, we can actually do some kind of automation with our filters if we wanted to. The wonderful thing is, because we can transition between the two, you can be performing your song with no scratches, and then when you want it, you can just kind of like bring them in with the slider. That's what I do. That's how I do. And yeah, that's basically how it works. Yeah, so I mean, you started watching the video as an awkward mess on the Octatrack. Now you're basically Grandmaster Flash. I don't know. You're welcome. See you later. Bye. Oh shit.